Okay, here's a little tutorial on how to skin FreeICE with Swish Max 4. Okay, start Swish Max 4 up. I've got a couple open here, get rid of that one. Okay, first of all, blank movie. First thing I want to do is set movie properties over here. I'm going to make it 800 by 600 and I'm going to give it a black background. 800 by 600, that's the size of the skin I'm going to be doing. I'm going to come down here to the left hand side and click fit stage in window so I can see everything then. Okay, next thing I want to do is open up Photoshop. Here's a quick background skin that I did. What I'm going to do is save it, save for web and devices, and then when it thinks about it, I'm going to save it as a PNG24 with a transparent background. So I'll click save, save it to a folder called FreeICE, and I'm going to name this menu. In fact, I'm going to rename that and name it main, so I don't get confused. Okay, so now it's Swish Max. First thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert a movie clip. I'm going to call that clip main, and this will be my main top and bottom screens. Okay, empty at the moment. I'm going to insert import image and desktop. I'm going to get that PNG I saved before, which is there, main. And there you go, there's the main screen. Next thing I'm going to do is create one called menu. So movie click, insert, I'm going to call this menu. Okay, so one main, background in, one menu. Now the main I always want at the top, so I'm going to get hold of the menu one and just drag it down to the bottom because I want the menu to show underneath the main screen. And then go back to Photoshop, get rid of everything that's showing at the moment, and then get some buttons on that I'm going to use for my menu. Okay, and I'll save that as well. PNG24 again. I'll call this menu this time. Okay, and then I'm going to open that up. That one's empty at the moment. I'm going to insert another image called menu. So there you have it. Now, just to make it look a bit more decent, I'm going to put a quick background on it as well. So get rid of them, go around here, stick this background on it, save for web again, I'm going to call it BNG, save it again, I'm going to call this background, and then I'm going to click on that, scene one again, insert another movie clip, I'll call this background. And because it's a background, it needs to be at the bottom. I'll open that and I'm going to insert import image. I'm going to stick the background on the back there. So there you have it. That's what the basic skin is going to look like. Okay. Now the first thing that will come on is the main menu. I want that to come on. I also want the menu to come on first, and then the background. But what I'm going to do now is click on this menu, and up here is the timeline. What I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on the menu picture, and I'm going to, in fact I'm not going to do that at all. Right, what I'm going to do is, to apologise for this, what I'll do, I'll insert another movie clip in there and I'll call that menu 2. And then I'm going to cut that. I'll show you why I'm doing this in a minute. And I'm going to paste it in place there. All I've done is I've moved it down the further one So it's in this menu now and not in this one that it was before. Reason for that is because I'm going to place a remove on that one, and I'm going to place a place on that one. So when it goes to the first frame in that scene, it'll remove it, and when it goes to the second frame, it'll place it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a stop here on the second frame. So I'm going to click in the top box, top row here, which is your main menu control. I'm going to right click, I'm going to remove control and stop. So what will happen, when it starts playing, it'll first disappear and then it'll appear, but it'll stop on that position there. Okay, I'll show you a reason why I'm doing that in a minute or two. Right, so that's your main movie. Okay, in the main box, again, I'm going to insert a movie clip. I'm going to call this main. The reason why I'm doing it twice is because you can have easy control on what actually shows on screen at the time and what doesn't. So let me paste that in there, paste in place. Okay, and I'll do the same in this one. Where am I now? I'll paste it back in where I was before. Let's paste it in this one. So each one is 2 down. Okay, so I'll go in this one and I'll do exactly the same as I did in the other one, which was remove, place, and movie control stop. So if I want the menu to disappear, I will tell it to go to frame 1. If I want it to appear, I shall tell it to go frame 2. Okay, it's as easy as that. Right, frame 2. Let's have some text on there now. So I'm going to stick some text boxes on, and I'm going to call, we'll just type track name in here. Now it's not showing up, so I'll highlight it, and over here you just got like a word thing, and you can change the colour, you can change the alpha, so that's your transparency, how transparent you want. You can make it bold. But all the other thing you need to do is change a static type of text, which means it'll always say that, to a dynamic. And then down here I'm going to type root track, I think it's called track title. What I'll actually do is I'll load up the sample skin that I've sent out that you can get from the FreeICE site, and I'll compare it. Okay, there's a sample skin. I'm going to open up my main, and you see I've done this very similar. In this I'm looking for the track title, and over here that track title is called root track title. So I'll copy that. I shall go in back to my other one. I was correct, but it's always worth checking. Root track title, and I'll have that in the middle, and it's probably not a bad size there. So I'll click on the little arrow here and I can drag it around then, and I'll stick it about in the middle. 400's in the middle, 800 you can actually grab, like Photoshop, you can grab guidelines so you can see if it's in the middle or not. You can always use your arrow keys as well to go up or down. So I'll put track name there, and underneath that I'll put an artist. So another box, artist, highlight that, I want a bit smaller, maybe 18, go down to 16 maybe. Can't really get away with anything much smaller than 16 to be honest. Okay, there's artist, and again not sure what it's called. I could do it to write all these down. I'll click on artist underneath, and that's called root artist. Now what FreeICE does is populates these variables when something changes. So all I'm doing is just a bit like RR, you would just put a text box on and give it a name so it knows what to display. So track name, track artist. Now that gives the main menu something to show. I'm also going to put a little button down here. I'm going to put a circle for now, and all this circle is going to do, okay, put a circle there, but it's actually put a picture in. I don't want a picture, so I'm going to select down here, it's got an image there, so I'm I'm going to change that to a solid, and I'm just going to give it a grey colour for now, and that's going to be my exit button. So I'm actually going to write some code now to make sure when I press that, FreeICE exits. So you've got your picture view, and then you've got your script behind it. Now this is where I'm going to do some coding. So I want to add script, add event, add a button, and I want to press it. So every time I press it, it will do this. So I'm going to write a command now, which is fs command, open brackets, exit, close bracket, and a semicolon. That's it. So every time I press that button, it will send the command exit to FreeICE. And that's as simple as that gets. Okay, down here at the bottom, I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can see my buttons. When you're drawing buttons, you can either draw them like that and then just put a solid shape over them, or I can collect like a rectangle and just put it there, and I can actually make it none, but whenever I press it, it will still send the command. Or what I like to do is, over here you've got a pen tool, and what this pen tool can do is actually draw around the shape itself. So you only need to really do one background rather than four with your up and down buttons. You can just draw around your shape. This is nice and quick. Don't know why it's done that. I'll do it quickly again. Fun and games. Tell you a few jokes, but I don't know any really. Okay, we'll try there. Okay, so you've got a shape there at the button. What I'm going to do with this, so you can either have a shape across, let's get rid of that one, don't need that one. A shape, just a normal rectangle with an on press behind it, but on this one I'm going to convert this to a button, so when you press it, it actually changes colour. So that's the shape I've just drawn. I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to convert it to a button, and then I'm going to right click on it again, and I'm going to put has separate down state. So now I've got the shape there which is up, and I've got the shape which is down. So the shape that's down, I'm going to give that a bit of a colour, which is that one there. I'm going to give it some solid colour, but I'll change it darker, and I'm going to put a slight alpha on it there, so it makes it slightly darker. Let's put 50%. You can actually overwrite the 50 and put whatever number you want to. So now I can flick that so I can see what's going on, and if I actually run it now, whenever I press that button, it'll look like it's being pressed down. Okay, so I shall stop that. A little neat trick in this, I'm going to close that button up, just give it a name, I'm going to call that next. Okay, I'm going to right click, copy object, right click just above it in the menu, paste in place. So I've got another button now, but of course it's the wrong way around, so right click, transform, I'm going to flip it horizontal, and then I'm going to stick it over this button. So now the down state of that should match as it did before. So now if I run the software, click the little play button, it's a little bit off but it's not too bad. Yep. Next and previous. Now let's write some code for them. Now these are slightly different coded. Which one's which now? Let's stop that a second. Okay, that's next, that must be previous. Let's keep them named correctly. Now these have slightly different states than normal buttons. These have a button down and a button up state. So let's go on the previous, go on script, again, add script, events, button, on press. So fs command, I'm going to call it previous, I'm going to put button down. Okay, and then on the same script I'm going to do add script, add events, button release. Okay, I'm going to put fs command previous button up. Now the reason I've done button down and button up is so when you hold the button down it fast forwards and rewinds, and when you don't it stops, it just goes to the next track. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a comma out there. I'm going to type release outside as well. That just saves, if you press the button down there and you move your mouse and you release it here, the button, if you've not put release outside, will still stay down, which is not what we want. So I've done that, so I'm just going to highlight that code, copy the code, switch to the next button, paste the code in and just change these to next. Obviously not like that. And then, I mean, the good thing about Swish Max is it highlights it in yellow if you don't get it right. So I've got forward, I've got backwards. I'm going to do my volumes. I'm going to cheat with my volumes. I'm just going to do select main. I'm just going to put a couple of blank boxes over for now. I'm going to call that volume minus, and I'm going to stick another box on. This is where you take time and you draw around it. I'm going to call it volume plus, and I've still got a bit of script copied and pasted, so I'm going to right click and do paste, and this is volume minus, and volume plus, right click, paste, volume plus, okay, so you've got next, previous, volume up, volume down, exit, done. What we need to do is some screen buttons, but before I do that I'm going to save it and see how it looks in FreeICE. So I'm going to, first of all, let's open up a copy of FreeICE, so CDR Scope Productions, FreeICE Skins, got default skin. I'm going to actually, easiest way is just to copy that, copy here, wait for it to copy. I'm going to call this test skin. Now you don't need these because these are all from FreeICE. The only things you need for a skin is, he says, I'm not sure about that one. Let's have a look. Okay. The only things you need to make a skin are a skin.ini and the skin flash file itself. Now in the skin.ini you've got the skin name. Now I'm going to call this test, it's in the test folder. The skin size is 800 by 600 and it's got a directory list number. That's how many files or names are actually listed in the directory is 6, and on the playlist number is 5. So that'll do me. Now I'm going to go in this settings.ini in the main folder of FreeICE, and this is where, wherever it is, I can set the name from skin name. I'm going to change that to test. Okay, save that. Go back to my Swish Max. Here's the one I want. So I'm going to save that now, or export as SWF. So I'm going to export that now, and I'm going to find where it's living, FreeICE skins test, and I'm going to overwrite that one called skin. Okay, just minimize that. Let's start FreeICE up, and it should start with our new skin. Just thinking about it. Okay, and you should have next. And that's working. Volume up, volume down. I'd have done button presses, it would have looked a lot better. So, it's, no play running as yet. Now I'm just going to show you quickly how to swap between screens. So that should exit. There we go. I'm going to show you how I would skin between screens. So that'll do for the main bit. I'm going to give these audio, GPS, whatever. Okay, so I'll make a button first. I'll put text tool. I'm still in the main. I don't want to be in the main. I want to be on the menu. So I want to be there. I want a text tool there. Now I'm going to use just a wedding for this, which is one of these weddings. Don't know if you've used them before. Very handy. They come with loads of predefined icons. So somewhere around here I should have one for music. Let's have a look. I used to go through the keyboard when I was doing RR skins trying to find one. It took me forever. It's taking me just as long now. Okay, doesn't matter, let's pick any then. That'll do, keyboard. Not that you can see what it is, but we'll make it a bit bigger. Okay, so we've got a keyboard there. Now what I'm going to do is I shall stick a rectangle over the top. Again, if for some reason it's gone to image, so I'll set that to none, and I'll put some code behind there, but I need to create an audio screen first. So I'll click on scene 1, insert, media clip, call this audio. Okay, move that down a bit below the main menu, and this is where I need to stick something. So I'll quickly open up Photoshop. I shall draw a square. Okay, size layer. Photoshop's locked up now for some reason.